Why are there so many Filipino boxers in Hajime no Ippo? Does Ippo secretly hate Jollibee and want revenge? No. The reason goes much deeper than that. Let me explain. As you know, Southeast Asian fighters are very much in the focus of the manga. Besides Takamura, who mainly fights American boxers, Ippo, Miyata, Kimura, and Aoki have fought plenty of Filipino boxers, especially Miyata, who has 7 boxers from the Philippines on his record. The most memorable ones were Randy Boy Jr. vs Miyata and Antonio Guevara vs Ippo. Malcolm Ghetto was pretty interesting as well. I'll talk more about him in a second. So, why are there so many Filipinos in those boxing records? There are 2 reasons. Reason 1. The lighter weight classes like featherweight and lightweight are dominated by Filipino boxers. Mexican boxers as well, but since Ippo and Miyata move around in the Southeast Asian region, the toughest fighters are Filipinos. And this flows into reason 2. Filipino boxers are among the toughest and most talented out there. They are led by their love for adventure and relentless fighting spirit. Manny Pacquiao, one of the best boxers the world has ever seen, has risen to glory with only his fists. When he was a child, his family was poor, which is why he had to drop out of school at 14. He moved to Manila to find a way to support his mother and 5 siblings. He even lived on the streets but eventually joined the national amateur boxing team. Within 2 years, he went pro. 10 years later, he was the hero of the nation and literally a million-point man. This is the dream. This is what the hearts of many young Filipinos wish for. They have this man as an idol. Imagine what a dream and a strong will can accomplish. They literally inherit his spirit and become strong boxers themselves. Pancho Villa was another big catalyst for the Philippines and even the Asian boxing scene in general. He was the first Asian to become a flyweight champion, and that was in 1923, 101 years ago. Many people don't know him, but I thought it would be important to mention him. His fighting spirit is what got the ball rolling and finally ended up becoming a nationwide inspiration. We see many such scenarios in Hajime no Ippo, not only for Filipino boxers but also for the Mexican ones, because there are many similarities between those two. Many Mexican fighters come from humble beginnings as well. They share the relentless fighting spirit and never give up. When someone tells me you're fighting like a Mexican or like a Filipino, I take it as a compliment. A good example of that is Alfredo Gonzalez. He came from nothing. He grew up in the slums and stole regularly to survive. It was just a natural response to his environment. But then he saw the national hero, Ricardo Martinez. His fights and his words touched Gonzalez. The machismo of Ricardo inspired another nation to strive for success and step up in the world. But it would be a shame to not talk about Malcolm Ghetto, another Filipino opponent Ippo has fought. Ghetto was introduced as the sleazy and greedy businessman who only fights for money. He would go as far as fixing fights for a bigger payday. Before their fight, he offered Ippo 3 million yen to let him win. Obviously, Ippo was shocked and disgusted by that offer. But then came the twist. Malcolm talked about the scars he had on his stomach. He said that he was shot when he was younger. Back then in the Philippines, he was poor and used to pickpocket to make money and get by. Stealing people's purses was the only way to survive. He says that it's hard to understand for someone from peaceful little Japan. But if you screw up on the street, you have to be ready to die for your mistakes. For him, the ring is the safest place on earth and only a place to open up a business. Ippo turns the offer around on him and offers him 500k out of his own pocket if he fights seriously with all his might. Ghetto gets irritated and immediately agrees. This shows that he has pride as well. His mentality to make money is completely logical. Growing up on the streets makes him want to get away as far as possible from there. This hunger for money isn't just simple greed. It's something you can only relate to when you had nothing. So Morikawa's portrayal of boxing and what happens in the boxing world is extremely realistic. I'm looking forward to seeing more Filipino boxers soon. It's highly likely that Miyata has one lined up pretty soon since he's the OPBF champion. What do you think? Will we see more interesting fighters from the Philippines and Asia in general? And what about American opponents for Ippo? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.